So, in this video, we're going to talk about the basics of a detector. We're going to start with a raw scintillator block, how we polish it, how we finish it, and how it is wrapped and fitted with a PMT. So guys, here we have is a scintillator block. This scintillator block is the one that actually gives us the light signals, which is read by the PMT and then taken by the data acquisition card, and then we can see stuff on computer. But let's focus on this guy. This scintillator block is somewhat like, you can say, a raw cosmic ray reader. When a cosmic ray passes through it, little signals of light are generated. You can call them photons, and they are read by those PMTs. But before making a well-furnished detector, we need to concentrate on making a good scintillator block, which is the essential part of our detector. So, what we need to have is polish this detector and make sure the edges are smooth enough. The first step would be to actually focus on the edges. You need to make sure the edges are smooth, so when the light bounces in the scintillator block, it should come back and not get lost in the form of energy. So here's a quick little demonstration of how we scrape off the irregularity on the surface of the edges. So here I should start with this little razor and scrape off the irregularity on the surface of this edge right here. So we're not going into full detail. What I have is a finished version of this guy and how it looks. So after I start with scraping off the irregularity on the surface of the edge of the scintillator block, now is the time we need to make sure that the smoothness of the surface is better. So as smooth as possible, that's what we want. Here's what I have is a sandpaper block. Usually we start from 1200 and go into 2500. That is the range of the sandpaper we use. So you want to make sure your scintillator block's edges are smooth as possible, and these guys help the job. So here's a little demonstration of what we do to make sure that process is smooth as possible. So quick thing here. The reason why we would make this block wet is because we don't want to burn the edges of this block. That would instead make it more rough. Even if it doesn't make rough, it would not do your job as efficiently as it should. You want to make sure they're always wet when you're scraping off the finest irregularities. So after using the sandpaper, what you get is smooth edges of the scintillator block. I can show you them here. They're made sure that they're smooth as possible. And so after you've made them smooth as possible, now it's time you should really focus on the surface. What we do is polish the surface. You need to make sure that all the water stains, all kinds of stains, are out of the surface. You want them to be really smooth. So now we have used the sandpaper to make sure the edges of the scintillator block are smooth as possible. Now it's time to focus on the two faces of the scintillator block. For this, we need to use a regular car polish. We use this to make sure all the scratches on the plastics go. Not all will go, but there certainly you can make a much big difference on the face of scintillator block. All we need to use is a paper towel, and then this whole process would go something like this. So you want to make sure that when you polish this whole face, it should be evenly polished from every spot. You always have to make sure that you polish them to the best of your ability, because your results should be proportional to the way you have worked. So, after we have polished our scintillator block and kept it for 1 or 2 days, our scintillator block should be something like more smooth and clear. And then we can go to the next step, which is coloring of the PMT.